Hey, hey, happy Thursday. I'm here every Monday, every Thursday for network marketing professionals, tips for your business. My name is Carly Larson, and I'm a teacher and also a network marketing professional, helping other men and women grow their businesses just like I am. And today's topic, I'll just dive right into it so that you know if you want to stick around or not, is why following up until one of you dies is complete BS, in my opinion. And if you're here watching, make sure you tell me where you're chiming in from in the comments. Introduce yourself, say hello. And if you're watching the replay, give me a hashtag replay. And at any point, if you're getting value out of this, please drop me a hashtag value. And also let me know in the comments other information you'd like to hear from me about network marketing and online businesses and how to grow your business online with automation. Okay, so here's a couple questions for you. Number one, have you ever been told that following up with someone until one of you dies is what you need to be doing to effectively follow up, right? Or that maybe a no is not really a no, so you just keep following up with them anyway because eventually they're going to tell you yes. Well, if that's the case, then you might be getting some misinformation because following up until one of you dies is probably wasting your time on a prospect who is not ready or may never be ready. And you might need to take your energy elsewhere and find someone who is ready. So continuing to follow up with someone who is, just telling you no and over and over again, you want qualified prospects who are ready, right? So let's just go ahead and dive into why I think following up until you die is, just silly. Because I know it leaves you feeling icky. It makes me feel icky. Then I feel like I'm bothering people, especially if they're ghosting me, right? So I'm going to tell you today what I do for following up, and I'm going to tell you what I used to do in the past and what I do now and what I teach my team about follow-ups. So I already went over this part where a no is not really a no, which sometimes I'm really like, it might be. Like, what if they're, I don't know. There could be so many different scenarios, but maybe you're in health and fitness and maybe somebody is like totally into like powerlifting and, what you do and your type of workouts and nutrition is just like not their style. So like that no might genuinely be a no. So sometimes you just have to bless and release them and know that that person is not your person and there will be other people. So instead of like wasting all your time following up with this person that's probably not going to join you, you can spend your time niching down your ideal client and finding someone who would be ready to join you, okay? So following up is important. So I don't want to get you off on the wrong foot that like you shouldn't be following up. Of course it's important, right? You probably have heard fortune is in the follow-up probably. So yes, that's true. But there are ineffective ways and effective ways to follow up. And I'm going to talk about that right now. So here's an ineffective way and what not to do about following up is you do not want to send cold messages to your prospects. Like you want to start conversations and dive into people's DMs when appropriate and when they are commenting, liking, engaging on your stories online, whatever it is, you want to genuinely start a conversation about something you have in common, not just an invite to your business opportunity or to buy your products like right away, because that's always going to be a no first, usually, unless there's that unicorn person out there. And you want to genuinely build that relationship with them so that they get to know, like, and trust you, and they continue to watch you and see what you're doing. And then maybe they'll be reaching out to you about your opportunity in your business without you even having to say anything if you're showing up consistently. So that's what not to do, is to not slide into people's DMs about your product, a cold message. So if you're still doing that, it needs to stop like right now. So don't friend someone on Facebook as soon as they accept it. You're like, hey, you want to do this for me? And chances are, no, like they have their own life and things going on and maybe their own business that you didn't even take 2 seconds to go look on their profile about, right? So we need to get to know the person, do a little bit of like investigating on their profile. That's why I always say quality over quantity. It's like, instead of inviting 100 people a day, stick to 3 or 4 that are good, genuine prospects that you have been building relationships with. And those conversations will just go so much easier and you'll be so much less stressed out because it'll be like you're talking to someone that you already know. And that's like a friend that you've built online. Okay. So because when you get messages like that, think about how you feel, right? When you get messages right off the bat, you accept someone's friend request and they're automatically trying to sell something to you, right? That's a cold message. It doesn't feel good. You're like, this person doesn't even know me. They're not even trying to get to know me. They're just thinking about me as a dollar sign. And that really turns people off. So we want to steer away from those icky, hey girl, cold messages and not be spammy about our products, but actually take a few seconds to go to that person's profile. I have some other videos about the 5-3-1 method where you comment on some photos, like some photos, and you just continue to follow up with them, but like on their page, right? So instead of in their messages right away, and then, you know, a few days later, hey, you ready now? Hey, are you there? Like that gets annoying. And that's when you're being spammy and turning people away from you. And that's how you get blocked and ghosted and all that stuff. So instead of treating them like they're a dollar sign or a point or a, you know, volume or whatever, you need to be treating these people like they're real humans. So think about how you make friends in real life, right? That's how we want to do it online. So I'm kind of getting off on a tangent here, but we're going to go back to the follow-ups, I promise. So building relationships with people. So that's the way I used to follow up, right? I used to invite people and then I'd see they read my message and then I'd like follow up with them like, hey, did you get my last message? And then I'd follow up with them again. And then like nothing. They see my message and you can see when they read your message, right? So it's like follow up. And you're like, oh, why is no one responding to me? This is so frustrating. You know, like that happened to me in the beginning of my business. I was seeing a lot of success and getting a lot of people to sign up that were in my warm market. And then, you know, when you run out of your warm market, which you know more people than you think, so you really genuinely never do run out of your warm market. I'll just say that. But it became really, really hard to find people in the cold market that were willing to join because it takes that time of building the relationships for those people to actually join. And thank you for those of you who are on. If you drop in the comments where you're tuning in from, I'd love to know. Hopefully my comments work. If not, that's okay. I can come back and comment on them later. So have you heard the term? Maybe drop me a 1 if you've heard this term. If you have to drag someone to it, then you'll have to drag them through it, right? So maybe you're following up with these people that you think are the right person, but maybe they're not. Maybe you don't really want them on your team. Maybe they are not going to be a business builder and they might just, you know, if you have to drag someone to the opportunity or to the product and whatever it is that you're offering, then usually, hello, Brandy, where are you tuning in from today? Go ahead. I can see your comments. Yay. Sometimes it doesn't work. So I'm really excited about that. I lost my train of thought there for a second. Hey, Em, how you doing? So I totally lost my train of thought. So if you're talking to someone and you're dragging them to the opportunity and to your products, chances are they're not going to either stick around and continue to be like a raving customer, or they will say, oh yeah, I'll sign up to be a distributor, a coach, like whatever it is. And then they just fall off, right? And they don't do anything. And then you have all these people in your downline who are doing nothing, and you're over here working your butt off and they're doing nothing at all. Ooh, nice. Sioux Falls, did I say that right? South Dakota? Is that where you are? SD? I'm in SD, San Diego, California. Okay. So here's something that I do to effectively follow up with people. And when I say follow up, that means people who are on my list who either have reached out to me. And when I say reach out, I mean who have maybe like commented on a post that I've made. And if you take a look at my page or my Instagram or my Facebook, you'll notice that I'm not like spamming my products and stuff all over the place. I tell stories, I try to engage people, and that leads to people like engaging and commenting and liking. And then those are people that you can go and show them some love back. And chances are they're going to keep watching you and they're going to show up on your feed and in your page. And you can start genuine conversations with those people. And it can lead to a DM conversation that's much more natural than a cold message that just feels icky and spammy and that nobody wants in their DMs. And don't doing, because I used to do it too, and I'm just trying to help my fellow network marketers out there to show them there is a better way to attract people to you. So let's say they reach out to me with a comment on a post. I might add them to my list, and then I in the next couple of days, I go and I engage on their on their photos and their stories and things like that. And I start building a relationship with them. And then I might reach out to them in a message if they don't reach out to me and talk about something that we have in common, right? Like I love craft beer. I love farmhouse home decor. I love my golden retriever. I'm in a interracial relationship. So maybe they have some of those common things with me. I'm a homeowner. I'm a teacher, right? So all the things that you might have in common with them, talk to them about it and say, hey, I see you're into this, and like start a genuine conversation. And then you'll notice that they won't ghost you that way. So quality over quantity. So instead of 100 messages a day, narrow it down to 3. Like find 3 new people that you can start a conversation with and start engaging with their profiles. And I did a couple videos in the past. If you go back and look at my videos about how to find those people using hashtags and things like that. And I can do more training on that too. If you guys are interested, just let me know. In the comments, you can tell me what other videos you'd like to see, because I can always go ahead and redo some of the ones that I've done, because they're probably not as good as now, which these are not necessarily wonderful, but I have gotten a lot better at going live and being comfortable in front of the camera than I used to be, that's for sure. Okay, so maybe you ask them a question about joining you after you've been having a conversation, and maybe they read it and they're like, oh, that sounds cool, like in their head, and maybe they didn't respond. So there's so many reasons why someone will ghost you or not respond. Genuinely, they probably get busy, because it happens to me, right? People in the industry will message me, and maybe I am genuinely interested in other network marketing products, right? Like whitening toothpaste or things, whatever. Like, yeah, I want to buy from other network marketers because I think it's awesome. I can't buy from everyone or I'd be broke, but you know what I mean? Like I want to support other women in this industry and in their business, but I can't always be buying products. And especially when they come at me in a cold market kind of way, like I try to kind of help them and steer them to my business page. But there's so many reasons why people will ghost you. So it's just as simple as following up with them and saying, hey, I know you're busy, but I just wanted to see if you had a chance to watch X, Y, and Z. Like maybe you sent them a video about your business or your products or whatever. A third-party tool is what you should be using though, because you want to take the expertise off of your shoulders, right? It's so much easier for someone to click on a 2-minute video about what it is you're offering instead of you writing up this huge thing and word vomiting at them. And then they're like, whoa, like that's a lot. It might be overwhelming, and they might they might read something the wrong way, whereas a video that your company has probably already made for you, or a teammate or something, or like an infographic, is probably much cleaner and easier to read than you doing that. So take that stress off your shoulders, send them a third-party tool, and follow up with them to see if they got to it. And you know, if they didn't, like, hey, that's okay. I know we get busy. Like, when do you think you'll have time to check it out? And then when they say when, you make sure you schedule that appointment with them to follow up with them in a day or whatever day and time it is that they said that they would follow up with it. Okay. So now ghosting still happens to people like that are interested. You send them info and then they do end up ghosting you and not responding to you when you've followed up with them. I keep it to 3 follow-ups. Like, hey, did you get a chance to watch it? If nothing, like, hey there, just checking to see if my messages are making it over to you. And then the last one can be something kind of like, you know, it's totally okay to say no. That one usually gets people to respond because maybe they don't know what to say to you. And I'll get women who will say that back to me, like, you know, I really was interested, but just not right now. And like, I just didn't know how to tell you because they feel bad, right? And that's better than just being ghosted, because then you can put them on a list and maybe ask them, like, when do you think would be a better time for you? But then you don't just not follow up with them until that next time. You make sure you put them on your list and you continue to follow up with them and engage with them in real life stuff and comment on their posts and engage in their stories, and still let them know that you're there for them when they are ready. And if you're not being ghosted by anyone, then you're a unicorn, because it will happen to everybody. It does happen to everybody, and that's just the name of the game. But there are ways to, you know, be ghosted in like a negative way where someone like blocks you, and then there's ways of being ghosted when someone is still watching your stories and stuff. So like, you know, they're there, and then maybe they just thought they responded to your message and they didn't. That sometimes happens. People are like, oh, I thought I responded in my head, and then they didn't respond at all. So that does happen too. But let's say that the person doesn't ever respond after you've built a solid relationship with them. After a while, you've invited them to your opportunity or your products, and then you send them a third-party tool, and then you follow up with them, and they ghost you. So what do you do then? So that's when I move them to kind of like a separate list that I have. So I have like a hot prospect list and like a warm prospect list, if you will. Sometimes I hate saying the word prospect because I feel bad, but you know what I'm saying. And then on the warm prospect list, I'm not going to message them anymore. Like when they're ready, they'll come around. You know, I'm not going to waste my time when I sit down to work to message these people who are like ignoring me blatantly or just whatever. So I will let my content do the talking for me. And I will still go and every couple weeks, every week or so, engage on their stuff, make sure they know I'm there so that I'm in their head and they're still thinking about me. And when they see my name and they see my stuff, because that's how the algorithm works, is the more you talk to people in Messenger and the more you engage on people's posts and they engage on yours, the more that your stuff is going to show up in their newsfeed. So if you just let your content do the talking for you, that's awesome, right? And then they're still there watching you, watching you, watching you. And they're like, oh, maybe I am ready to join now. And then you'll be surprised at how many more people would reach out to you. Okay? So that's all I have for you today. Moral of the story here is to stop sending cold messages about your products and services and getting ghosted. And you're still going to get ghosted sometimes, trust me, but there's a much better way to build relationships with people about things of common interest, quality over quantity, maybe 3 people a day. It's also way simpler to think of like 3 people a day than 100, right? Because sometimes I hear people say, oh, I invite 100 people a day. And I'm like, who? Like, who are you? How many? What? Like, no, that just doesn't work. And the chances are they're getting maybe 1 person out of 100 that will sign up. And that's a lot of work. And that's going to lead to burnout. So ladies, thank you so much for tuning in and listening. I'm not sure if there were any gentlemen here, but I didn't see any gentlemen comment on the on here. So let me know in the comments also what other videos you'd like to see. I have a really, really great group on here that you can shoot me a message and I can get you the link and get you added in there. The women who are the leaders of that group do a wonderful, wonderful job, kind of like this. Every Wednesday they do trainings. They've been in the industry for a long, long time. That's where I've learned a lot of my tips and tricks about revamping my network marketing business. And they're just wonderful. They do techie stuff. They do growing your brand on Instagram. They do it all. And I will see you here again on Monday. I don't know my topic yet, so I'll be kind of figuring that out over the weekend. And then I'll see you Monday with some more tips and again next Thursday. So thanks for tuning in and I'll see you guys on the flip side. I don't know why I said that, but it sounded fun. Okay, bye.